So the first measure of central tendency is the mean. So you must be familiar with this metric. So it's nothing but sum of all the observations in your data divided by the number of observations. So this is the simple formula. So this is the simple formula for mean, which is denoted by x bar. So this is the notation for sample mean. So it says 1 by n into summation of all the observations, that is all the xi's. Okay. So when you have a frequency distribution, how do you calculate the mean? Okay. So let's say in your data, you have some values which are, let's say, so these three values are there in your data, and you have particular frequency of this. So these are repeating many times. Let's say 0 is repeated 2 times, 1 is repeated 3 times, 2 is repeated 4 times, 3 is repeated 1 time, and so on. So this is the frequency distribution table of your data. How do you calculate the mean? So the basic theme is the same. You just sum these up. So 0 is repeated 2 times. So 0 plus 0. 1 is repeated 3 times. So 1 plus 1 plus 1, and so on. So you sum all the observations, and then you divide by the number of observations. That is 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1. So this is captured in this formula, which is uh, x bar is equal to 1 by n into summation of fi into xi. So you just multiply these two, and you get the value of xi into fi as the product of these two. This is 0, this is 3, this is 8, and this is 3. And then you sum the entire thing. So 0 plus 3 plus 8 plus 3, it's 14. Okay. Now you sum all the frequencies, right? So this will be 2 plus 3 equal to 5, and 5 10. So your mean will be nothing but 14 divided by 10, that is 1.4. So this is how you calculate mean for frequency distributions. So here is a small question, you can try it out for calculating the mean. So it says number of children under 16 years in a sample of 20 families is this. Okay. How do you calculate the mean of it? So you'll just make a frequency distribution table for this data, and then you can calculate the mean in a similar way. Okay. So the second question is there any suspicious element in data? So we will come to this part after discussing the median. So the next metric of central tendency is the median. So I will quickly show you how to calculate the median of a data. So here is a question. So the ages of 7 policy holders in a portfolio of insurance policies are as follows. So we have 7 data points here. So the first rule to calculate the median is you have to sort the data in ascending order. Okay. So let's sort this up. So this will be 26, 28, 34, 34, and then you have 39, 41, and then 70. Okay, so you have 7 numbers. So the median is the number that lies in the middle of your data set. When you arrange it in ascending order, so the median is the one that lies in the center of the data set. That is, in this case, it's 34. So the concept is half of the numbers are below this number and half of the numbers are greater than this number. So you can see 26, 28, 34 are below 34, and 39, 40, 41, and 70 are above this number. So this is also called the 50th percentile, because 50% of the data lies below this number, right? This is very straightforward in case of odd number of data points. So what do you do when you have even number of data points, right? In that case, how do you decide which one is the middle one? So for that, let's say I have another data point, let's say 21. Here now I have uh, even number of data points. So in this case, your median will be simply the mean of the middle two numbers. So now in the middle you will have two numbers. So here in this case I have 3 this side, 3 this side. In the middle I have two numbers. So I'll just take the mean of these two numbers. So mean of these two numbers is 34. So if it had been 33 here and this had been 34, in that case the median would have been 33.5. Okay, so this is how you calculate the median for a data set. So you can try this question to answer whatever are there. So this is for your practice. The third concept is mode. So this is also a measure of central tendency. So the definition of it is which value is repeated the most number of times in your data, right? So I'll take the example, this example again. So let's say you have a data which is 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, and 4. So this is the data set. Now 2 is repeated one time, 2 is repeated two times, 3 is repeated three times, and 4 is repeated one time. So in this case, the most frequent number is 3, right? So this, in this case, your mode will be 3. Okay. I'll take another example. So in the right side of this slide, you can see a frequency. You can see a histogram of a data set, wherein you can see that one bar is very high. So the frequency of the occurrence of this particular number is very high. So in this case, this number, whatever is this number, let's say it's 36 or 35. So 35 is the mode for this data because 35 is repeated the most number of times, right? All these are less frequently repeated, all these numbers. So this is the highest one. So corresponding to this, I have 35 here. So this is my mode. Okay. What are the use cases of each one of them? So mode is used whenever you want. So a very good example is that how do you decide which company is performing better in terms of usage? So you just take the max of it, right? So median is used when you have many outliers in your data. So I'll come back to this example again. So in this data set, you can see all the numbers are lying between 0 to 8, but one number is unexceptionally very high, right? It's 15. So if you see this data, you can see that this is a clear-cut suspicious element in your data set. So these are called outliers, right? We will see the theoretical definition of outliers in our further down the course. So you can think of them as not they are the elements which are not following the pattern of your original data set. So they are very deviant from your original data set, right? Of the values of the original data set. Okay. So in this case, what is a good measure of central tendency? So if you calculate the mean in this case, it will be skewed by this element 15. So 15 will be added up to all these small numbers and it will increase the value of your sum. And then if you divide it by total number of elements in this data set, it will be higher. It will be skewed towards this number 15. In this case, median is a very good measure of central tendency because in that case 15 will come in the absolute right of your data set when you sort it in ascending order, right? So when you sort it in ascending order, 15 will come in the absolute right, and whatever is there in the middle, it is not affected by this value, right? So median is a very good measure of central tendency when you have outliers in your data. So these are some properties of mean, median, and mode. So as I already explained, mean is influenced by outliers, median is not influenced, mode is also not influenced. So mean is not applicable to nominal data. So you have in your data set, if you have some nominal data, that is name, let's say, you cannot calculate the mean of it. Similarly, you cannot calculate the median of that data, but you can surely calculate the mode for that data, which name is repeated the most number of times, right? Again, each array has one and only one mean. Median is also one, but mode can be multiple. So median is also one number. So in case of uh, odd number of data points in your data set, you just take the middle value. In case of even numbers, you take the both the middle values and then calculate the average of it. So median is also one. So median is also one, and mode can be multiple. So I'll give you an example of multiple modes. So let's say you have 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, and 1. You have this data set. So now 2 is repeated 2 times, 3 is repeated 2 times. So the maximum frequency of repetition is 2, but there are two numbers which are behaving in this way. So in this data set, 2 and 3 are the two modes of this data. We also call this as bimodal data set, right? So we have two modes. So this is the recommended measure of central tendency for the types of variables mentioned here. For nominal, you will always have to take the mode of it. For ordinal, you can go for median. For interval or ratio type of variables, you can take the mean. And so this is for the data set which is not skewed. For that, you can take the mean. But if the data is skewed, that is, there are few outliers and all, so you can take the median for that data set. Okay, so this is all about the measures of central tendency.